Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. Let's explore the richness of Italian Christmas, a season that unfolds with a sense of reverence, warmth, and continuity that has carried families through centuries. In Italy, Christmastime is not compressed into a single day, nor is it built around swift exchanges of gifts. It begins early in December and extends deep into January, stretching across Advent, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the Epiphany. This long season is shaped by devotion, family gatherings, local rituals, regional flavor, and the enduring story of the Nativity. For many people in the United States whose ancestors came from Italy, these customs represent a living connection to the towns and villages their relatives once called home. Whether your family roots trace to the hills of Tuscany, the crowded streets of Naples, the valleys of Lombardy, or the sunlit shores of Sicily, Italian Christmas traditions preserve memories that reveal both place and identity. Italian Christmas is anchored in a profound sense of spiritual meaning. The Nativity is not simply a decorative theme, it is the heart of the season. Families build elaborate Presepii, nativity scenes that may include not just the Holy Family, but entire villages crafted with details reflecting local landscapes, trades, and customs. In some homes, making the Presepii becomes a weeks-long project, with children and adults adding figures day by day. These scenes are treated with care and often passed down for generations, carrying regional craftsmanship and family history within them. Understanding how Italian families constructed and displayed their Presepii can even offer genealogical clues, since the materials, styles, and figures often correspond to distinct regions. But Christmas in Italy is not only devotional, it is deeply communal. Streets fill with music during Advent as shepherd musicians known as zampognari wander into towns playing flutes and bagpipes. Their melodies echo folk traditions that stretch back centuries, particularly in rural areas of central and southern Italy. For immigrants who carried these memories across the ocean, recalling the sound of these musicians often became a way to remember their childhood towns long after they had settled in new countries. This blend of village life, seasonal music, and Christian anticipation gives Advent a distinctive Italian feeling, one of quiet excitement that grows day by day. To understand Christmas in Italy, it helps to begin with the Presep, the manger scene that occupies a central place in nearly every household. While Americans may set up a simple nativity set each December, Italian Presepii are rarely simple. They are worlds unto themselves, full of figures representing not only the biblical story, but the texture of everyday life. A butcher carrying meats, a woman baking bread, a fisherman mending nets, a musician playing a violin, all may be present, representing the idea that Christ entered a world of ordinary people, work, and daily struggle. Families often accumulate these figures over decades, sometimes generations, creating a kind of visual history that grows richer with time. The tradition of building elaborate Presepii is strongest in southern Italy, particularly in Naples, where entire streets are devoted to Presepii artisans. Their workshops are filled with clay, paint, moss, tiny tools, miniature fruits and vegetables, and intricate lighting. Some craftsmen devote their entire lives to creating nativity figures. In Sicily, Presepii often incorporate local architecture and island scenery, turning the biblical story into something familiar and intimate. Northern Italian Presepii tend to be more restrained, often carved from wood and reflecting alpine craft traditions. A particularly meaningful detail for many families is the practice of leaving the manger empty until midnight on Christmas Eve. Only after returning from midnight Mass do families place the baby Jesus into the scene. This quiet moment is one of the most cherished in Italian homes. When this tradition carried across the ocean, it often served as a reminder of the faith and rhythm of life families brought with them. The Advent season in Italy is a time of preparation that carries both spiritual focus and cultural richness. Families begin decorating their homes modestly at first, saving the more elaborate decorations for later in the month. Churches offer special services centered around the prophecies leading to Christ's birth, and many families include Advent prayers or readings in their home life. In rural areas, the sound of zampognari becomes one of the unmistakable markers of the season. Their music, often haunting and beautiful, is rooted in ancient shepherd traditions and is believed to represent the shepherds who visited the Christ child in Bethlehem. In some regions, particularly in the South, the week before Christmas is marked by a devotional practice known as the novena. For 9 days, towns and neighborhoods gather for prayer, song, and community reflection. Children may participate in small processions or take part in local plays reenacting parts of the Nativity story. These customs can be especially revealing when tracing ancestry, since the type of Advent traditions a family followed often reflects both the region and the local parish culture. Food, even in Advent, plays a quiet role in preparation. While Christmas Eve and Christmas Day feature elaborate meals, Advent historically encouraged simpler food choices due to Catholic fasting traditions. Families might prepare dishes based on legumes, vegetables, or fish. In many cases, these dishes, humble and deeply connected to rural life, were passed down to immigrant families who brought them to America as comfort foods during the colder months. Christmas Eve, known as La Vigilia, is the emotional center of the Italian holiday season. Compared to the bustling celebrations of other countries, Italian Christmas Eve carries a reverent stillness. Families gather in the evening for a meal that reflects both tradition and anticipation. Historically, Catholic practice encouraged abstaining from meat on this night, which gave rise to the seafood-based meals many Italian-American families still cherish today. While the Feast of the Seven Fishes name largely developed in the United States, its spirit echoes the Italian practice of preparing multiple seafood dishes as part of the Christmas Eve meal. In Italy, the table might be filled with salted cod prepared in various ways, fried vegetables, pasta with clams or other seafood, winter greens sautéed with garlic and olive oil, and an array of local specialties that vary by region. The meal is leisurely, reflective, and meant to bring the family together in shared anticipation. Children often sense the solemnity of the evening, knowing that a significant moment awaits them at midnight. That moment arrives with Midnight Mass, one of the most anticipated services in the Italian Christian calendar. Churches glow with candles, incense fills the air, and choirs sing ancient hymns that families have known since childhood. The Gospel of Luke is read aloud, recounting the birth of Christ and the shepherd's visit. For many Italians, the walk home after midnight Mass becomes a treasured memory, a quiet journey through darkened streets carrying the sense of holiness into the home. Once home, families place the figure of the baby Jesus into the Presepio, officially welcoming Christmas. This gesture, though small, often becomes the most emotional moment of the season. Families who carried this tradition into America often treated it as a cherished link to their ancestors. Christmas Day in Italy is shaped by warmth, conversation, and food that brings generations together. Unlike the anticipation of Christmas Eve, Christmas Day carries a feeling of fulfillment. Families often gather around tables filled with regional dishes that have been passed down through mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers. In northern Italy, tortellini and broth, roast meats, and polenta dishes are common. In central Italy, baked pasta dishes or rich lasagnas may appear, while in the south the meal continues to celebrate bold flavors with roasted meats, winter vegetables, and sweets prepared days in advance. One of the most recognizable treats is panettone, a sweet, airy bread from Milan studded with candied fruit and raisins. Its golden dome has become a symbol of Italian Christmas both at home and abroad. In Verona, the lighter pandoro takes its place, dusted with sugar that resembles fresh snow. In Naples, struffoli, small fried dough pieces coated in honey, add color and sweetness to the table. These desserts often carry family memories, especially for immigrant families who preserve the recipes as a way to hold on to a piece of home. Christmas Day often stretches long into the afternoon, with families visiting relatives or receiving guests. It is not uncommon for the holiday to be filled with stories of past Christmases, memories of relatives who emigrated, and reflections on family roots. These conversations, especially among older generations, have become some of the most important oral histories for descendants today. While many Americans consider December 26th the end of the holiday season, Italy continues celebrating until January 6th, the feast of the Epiphany. This day commemorates the visit of the Magi to the Christ child, and its celebration remains a central part of Italian tradition. The figure who presides over Epiphany is not Santa Claus, but La Befana, an old woman who delivers gifts to children on the eve of January 6th. According to Italian tradition, La Befana was visited by the wise men as they sought directions to Bethlehem. She initially refused to join them. Later, regretting her decision, she set out to find the Christ child, but never reached him. Since then, she travels the world in search of the child, leaving gifts for children as she goes. Her legend is gentle rather than frightening, portraying her as a symbol of kindness and second chances. Markets and festivals dedicated to La Befana fill Italian squares in early January, especially in Rome, where stalls selling sweets, dolls, and holiday treats keep her story alive. For many Italian families in America, celebrating Epiphany became a meaningful way to stay connected to their roots. Families who exchange small gifts or sweets on January 6th often preserve customs linked to their ancestors' towns in central and southern Italy, where La Befana remains especially beloved. Italian Christmas traditions form a long, unfolding season shaped by faith, family, and the enduring story of the Nativity. From the Presepio crafted with care to the candle-lit Mass at midnight, from the seafood meals of Christmas Eve to the gentle visit of La Befana at Epiphany, each part of the season carries meaning that reaches back through generations. For those tracing Italian ancestry, these customs reveal more than festive practices. They reflect the rhythms of daily life, the values families held, and the ways relatives adapted to new lands while trying to keep the heart of home alive. Italy's Christmas season invites us to see the holiday not as a brief celebration, but as a journey through devotion, memory, and connection. Through these traditions, we can understand not only how our ancestors marked the birth of Christ, but how they carried their identity across oceans and through time. If you've got a hard-to-find ancestor you're stuck on, I'd love to hear about it. Just head over to ancestralfindings.com and click on Contact to send me a message. While you're there, take advantage of our free weekly genealogy lookups. Explore thousands of articles and enjoy hundreds of podcast episodes. We've been helping family history researchers since 1995. And if you're looking for even more, check out our Genealogy Gold Q&A series over on Patreon. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy searching.